It's back to school season, which means new classes, new teachers, declaring a major, going to parties, the general experience of higher education. But if you're not careful, you could be blindly walking into a cesspool of violent crime and assault. Fortunately for you, you have me. So in this video, I'm going to go over number 1, the basic martial arts skills every man or woman needs to be able to defend themselves legally on a school campus. And yes, legally is a consideration, because if you're not considering that, you're the criminal. And why the classic college backpack is the worst thing you can do for self-defense, and what a better option is. Really, these are helpful tips for everybody, not just college students, but that's not as catchy of a title. First, I want to make very clear, while everything we're talking about today is going to be awesome, there's no replacement for hands-on, real-world training. So, enroll in one of your school's martial arts programs. Most colleges in the US have a wrestling program, offer karate as an elective credit, and have a myriad of martial arts clubs that are free to join. Take advantage of this while you can, because in the real world, shit's expensive. With that being said, here's this many self-defense techniques to protect you on campus. All right, so a couple things to keep in mind when it comes to fighting for self-defense versus fighting for sport is that the goal for self-defense is to leave as quickly as possible, meaning everything I do from the minute he tries to attack me has to be in service of getting me away from the situation. Second thing to keep in mind is that you don't want to have a fair fight. If you can do anything at all to create an advantage in your favor, you should do it. So for me, that means taking your opponents back as quickly and efficiently as possible. So typically on a college campus, defending yourself from the random stray punch is not that big of a concern. We're more noticing people coming up and grabbing inappropriately, holding someone against the wall, stuff like that. Fortunately, the defense we're going to use for a punch is going to be the same defense we use for all these grabs. So what we're going to work on is a modified version of a shell guard. On the street, you're not going to deal with someone throwing a straight 1-2. It's going to be more like a rounded haymaker punch. So you want a guard that can defend you both from the front and around the side. What I prefer to do is have my hand on the inside like this, bracing against my head so that I can have my elbow pointing straight at my opponent, my hand here guarded the side of my head, and as soon as I want to, I can release and start throwing strikes. As such, I'm going to trust Aaron here to unload his punches as hard as he wants to test the strength of the shell. Ready, sir? Let's do it. Go ahead whenever you're ready. Boom. Again here, go ahead. Again, as hard as you want. Go ahead. Now, I'm doing two things here. As he strikes, I'm going from my stationary position, go ahead, swing, and bringing my hand up at the same time. He comes in here, I shell up, I hit the neck here, I secure the arm. This arm now belongs to me. Go ahead and try to take it away from me. I'm holding on to it, not with my super powerful grip strength, but with my armpit and my hand pinching onto his arm. I'm putting all of my weight onto his arm here like this, so he tries to take it away, I'm going with him. I'm not trying to yank it out of his shoulder, I'm going with him. But then I don't want to go with him anymore, so now I'm going to give a little hula hip here. Boom, there he goes. Boom, off on his way. As quickly as I can, I want to go from 1, 2, 3. And from here, I can either secure myself to the arm with the arm drag, like we did in the video with David Heineman, or if I want to be quick about it, I come here, boom, bang, just let him go, set him free. The minute he's turned around, shoulders not pointing towards me, I'm going to put my hand on his back, create distance between the two of us, and then off I go. What I don't want to do is go here, bang, bop, bop, boom, and then turn and try to run away while he's still facing me. Hitting someone is great. I'm a big fan of striking, I'm a big fan of boxing, but there's no guarantee you're going to end a fight with your strikes. So rather than relying on that to be the thing that gets you home safely, I tend to prefer on wrestling and turning someone's back on you. But like I said a minute ago, we're not really that worried about defending ourselves from punches. It's a concern, but it's not the main concern, because the most likely thing we're going to have to deal with is someone assaulting us by grabbing us. As he comes to grab me here, I'm going to build my shell guard, but instead of going in between the arms here like this, I'm going to come to the outside. Now from here, I'm going to turn my whole body around, and look at that, we're already behind him. I'm building my shell just like this, here and turn. Again, we're here like this, he comes and grabs, my arm comes across, you'll notice I'm turning the whole body weight over, I turn the body back, and look, I got his arm. And from here, I just tell him, don't do that. You have a couple different options when someone's trying to assault you. You can either go ham and blast straight through him, hoping that you're more aggressive than he's prepared to deal with, or you can be a little more ninjutsu. You can let him know that you're drawing a boundary without offending him. So if I wanted to hurt him, come grab here, I can come here, explode, bang, boom, boom, send him on his way. If that didn't kill him, we're now fighting. Or I can come here, grab, real subtly, just take control, let him go, right? Or even less than that, I can come here and, nope, don't touch me. That's all it is. I'm using both hands to help push, and I'm moving my body weight towards him. I'm not trying to hurt you. We're not starting a fight, but I do say, you're not doing this. Not gonna touch me. He takes another step towards me. Now we can fight. Because I've established, don't come any closer to me, don't touch me. Another thing to keep in mind is that the biceps on a human being are like the horns on a bull. Aaron comes here and tries to grab me here. I secure this bicep, go to the other side here like this, good. Now try to punch me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Right here like this. I've got control of his biceps from the inside. I've got double ties just like this, or I come here like this. Now I've got control of the tricep, I guess, which is just the bicep from the outside. The same thing could happen if someone's trying to attack you and they pin your biceps like this. If you're pinned against the wall, it's very hard to defend yourself with your arms pinned like this. But all you have to do is a little wax on, wax off. Take those arms in there, please. Let's go right here, actually. Right here. So what I want you to do, Aaron, take this hand, point your thumb, don't even grab my arm. Take your arms, point them down to the ground, and now swim them inside my arms. Just like that there. Same thing other side. That's all it is. Now, this will be harder as they're wrestling with you, not letting you do it. But you get real smooth, go ahead, go ahead. You get real smooth with pummeling to the inside here like this, boom, boom. As soon as you can get here, the sooner you can defend yourself. If we're here, go ahead, pin my arms. And I'm trying to attack him here, I'm trying to escape, it's not gonna work. If he's got me pinned here like this, I want as quickly as I can, at least get one, if not two biceps. At the same time, I can also come here, got control here, boom. Now I've got control of a bicep and the neck here. This is my favorite way to control a human being because now I can spin him around by a supercomputer, and I can lift the arms up, protecting myself from all of his punches, going from a position of no control, here like this, to some control, good control, honestly, to the most control. Conventional knowledge will say you want to go for the Thai double plum. That's a good position, but if both of my hands are pinned to his neck like this, start throwing punches. Boom, 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 right here. I can't really defend myself from here because I've freed up both of his arms while I'm married to his neck, which does offer good control, but not nearly as much as this does. And honestly, not nearly as much as tying up the arm here like this. But again, you have to remember, the system here is about getting to his back. So once I'm here, I push down, boom. Now I can go off this way while he faces that direction. So those are some fighting options to keep you safe on campus, but they're not the only tools at your disposal. Use your voice and establish boundaries. If you think you might have to get physical with somebody, you're already in danger. So use your voice and speak clearly and assertively, not yelling yet, and let the other person know if they take one more step towards you or grab you again, you will beat them twice to death. Now, a boundary is only as threatening as it is enforceable. And if you're not comfortable yet in your hand-to-hand fighting skills, it might be time to invest in a force multiplier. A force multiplier like the Fast Strike Tactical Whip and the Atomic Bear Stealth Pen Pro. These two do everything a baton and a knife are supposed to do, but better, and while being permissible on most college campuses. First, let's talk about the Fast Strike. As the name implies, it's a whip. And while you might think that means it's mostly a rope, this thing is used basically the exact same as a stick. I can swing the exact same angles that I do with my baton during Kali that I can with a tactical whip. But because it has a non-rigid striking surface, it also takes a lot less effort to do the same amount of damage. Do it. Ow, again. Ow, again. Ah, a little bit more, a little bit more. Ow! Dude. Look at what you did to me. As well, when it's time to put it away, I can easily fold it up into itself and then hook it in my pocket, clip it to my pants, or attach it to my backpack. Oh! I destroyed it. For as much as I like the tactical whip, like I said, it's not my only recommendation for self-defense EDC. Let's talk now about the Atomic Bear Stealth Pen Pro. Because the Atomic Bear is actually a pen, you can walk around carrying this in your pocket, in your notebook, or even just walk around with it in your hand and nobody will bat an eye. Which means this is a very easy tool to have as your first line of self-defense. Beyond that, the pen has a pair of nasty teeth at the end of it, which I'm a big fan of, as well as a DNA catcher, which you can use to take a piece of your would-be attacker with you. And as if that wasn't enough, on the other end, we have a fancy schmancy window breaker, which, as advertised, you can use to break open a window in a pinch, or if you need to do more damage to an attacker, you can use this to dig and grind against their soft tissue.
You can do it hard?
Just start soft.
Okay.
So we'll be here. Actually, just go with this. Ow! God, already!
Ow.
Imagine if you took this thing and you like dug into someone's neck. Yeah.
Or hit in their eye.
Yeah.
Even anywhere close to the.
Oh, that was so
But because no self-defense EDC video of mine is complete without it, let's talk, of course, about the endless usefulness of a flashlight. In this case, I'm using the Warrior Mini 3 from Olight because of its compact but dangerous design. Like the Atomic Bear, it comes with these sharp little teeth which I can use to grind into an attacker's skin, but despite how small it is, it still packs a big enough punch where I can be confident that I'm blinding my attacker as I try to make my escape from them. The flashlight is one of those universal tools that everybody should be carrying on them all the time, even if they're not worried about self-defense. Although, it does a pretty good job at self-defense as well. So we've got our self-defense EDC, but now the question becomes, how do we carry it all? The simplest answer is you put it on your body as much as possible. But you can't really walk around with a tactical pen and a whip and a flashlight without it being pretty cumbersome, not to mention unfashionable. And if you're walking around campus all day, you're probably gonna be wearing one of these. The standard JanSport All-American backpack, which, by the way, isn't actually the best way to carry all your stuff, but we'll talk about that in a little bit because this is probably what you own. So I recommend putting your EDC in the easiest pocket to get to. In this case, we're gonna go for this middle pocket right here. I'm gonna put my default EDC right there. So right there goes the flashlight. As for the tactical whip, you can put this into a pocket, but because I wanna make sure I have fast access to it, I'm actually gonna take it on the strap and wrap it around, carry it right there. That way, when I put the backpack on, the whip is always right next to me, but it looks inconspicuous like a little bike lock. Now, as far as backpack organization goes, you want to make sure each of these pockets has a specific use that's only for that specific purpose. Like I said, this middle pocket is always going to be EDC. The smaller pocket right here is where my regular pens are going to go, as well as my spare charger cable. And if you want to earn bonus points, carry a portable battery with you. That way you never have to find an outlet either. On that note, don't be one of those people who writes your full name, phone number, and address in any of your notebooks and then leaves them in your backpack. Because if someone gets those things off of you, now they know your full name, your address, and your phone number. Now, like I mentioned, I don't actually think the classic JanSport backpack is the best way to go because by default, a backpack puts all of your carry on your back, which is convenient for keeping it out of the way, but less so for getting to it in an emergency. And this is a super martial arts nerdy thing, but it's worth mentioning anyway. Having two straps on your body means you now have two handles on your body. You've essentially put on an old-fashioned dogi with which your opponent can grab on and control you. Instead, I recommend a messenger bag. What I like about the messenger bag, or tactical sling if you're into that, is that it's worn cross-body, meaning your carry is at your side or at your front at all times, meaning you always have access to everything in your bag. And all the rules of the backpack still apply. You wanna make sure your EDC is quick and convenient to get to, and you wanna make sure you're carrying just enough to get you through the day, but not so much that you're gonna be weighed down. Now in this case, we do have one drawback for the messenger bag. Because it's being carried on one shoulder, the weight is being shouldered by one shoulder, which means if you overstuff this bag, it's gonna be more painful than if you carried it on an evenly distributed backpack. But again, all the more reason for disciplined carrying. So to recap, learn the fundamentals of martial arts. Equip yourself with the most efficient but permissible self-defense EDC you can find, and spend the extra time and discipline to prepare yourself day to day. This will not only ensure your success as a student, but also your own personal safety. And while we're talking about it, if you're gonna be investing in yourself as a martial artist, you're gonna need new training swag. X Martial is currently running a Get Your Ass Back to Class special for any and all martial artists who slacked off over the summer and need to hit the mats. So if you wanna get yourself some of the best fight apparel and gear on the planet, use the link down in my description and then be sure to use code COMBATSD for 10% off your order. As well, if you want to pick up any of the self-defense EDC we talked about today, there's also a link to each of those down in the description. As always, you guys, this has been Rob from Combat Self-Defense. I want to thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for the hard work yet to be done, and I'll see you next time. Bye!